backstage, I was like listening to these guys, and I thought to myself, I was like, Ricky is a very good-looking guy. I was like, he's in shape. That's one of the takeaways I had back then.
That's it, Sebastian?
So I want to meet Sebastian.
That's cool, bro.
And Brett took some very handsome black and white photographs backstage. Ask him about that when you see him.
It's because I don't work out with Carl Weathers. Okay.
No.
All right. Let's rub that in.
He didn't see your smolder. I think it came after his smolder.
This is the Winter Soldier.
It was,
This is the Winter Smolder, baby. I've been waiting all year to say that.
It's a thing.
How's it been going out here?
It's been quiet. Quiet. You know, no one's really paying attention.
Yeah, it's just kind of chilling.
It's like, I feel like we're on the road. Like, I feel like this is like one of those shows that like we've been doing for a while, and this is our next stop. And,
It is.
You know.
It is basically. How you doing, Rome? But that's the great thing. That's all you need to do. Every city, every country. One more time.
That was pretty easy. That was okay.
It's awesome.
That's great.
It's gonna go again. There's no need. No,
Yeah. So what?
She was like, I got you, bro.
What's the best question that anybody asked you guys?
That one. Come se dice? Come se dice? Come se dice?
Porn star name.
Call us a DJ. Yeah.
So, ladies and
we got
gentlemen,
into religion. We got
it is that time. If you could please put your hands together and say thank you to you and to you. You guys apparently have
This is the polite version.
places to go.
Go away.
People to talk
We
to.
want to talk to Sebastian.
Hey, Ricky, you look so handsome on that thing. Brett, it's your time to leave. Cool.
Please don't.
Cool.
Please don't go.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together.
Oh, you're gonna do great. You got that.
Thank you. You guys kill it.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Rome.
And thank you more. So he's gonna tell you so many funny jokes, like because we were backstage.
Yes.
He's so funny. Let him tell you that story. Remember
Ricky,
one?
let's walk off.
Remember one? Good luck, buddy.
See you, buddy.
Enjoy, buddy. There's that song.
Hey, wait and roll.
So, Sebastian, this is your first panel of the day, right? First panel of JIBLand. First panel in Italy.
How many panels are there?
I don't know, 7 to 9.
All right, good.
But this is the first of them, so there's a few things that I need to explain to you.
I didn't have any alcohol yet.
Okay, well, that's your first mistake for
Yeah, you
sure.
want some?
Apparently.
There is, as you've seen, there's a wheel, which
Right.
at any point, if you feel like it, you can just spin it.
And who's the wheel for? Me.
For you. For you. Yeah, if you get a surprise, they'll bring a surprise. If you get the drink, there's behind you some apple juice.
Oh, this looks like a nice organic drink.
It is from the earth.
Perfect. From the earth. Okay, fine. Well.
Well done. Well done. So,
Really do have this.
for instance, if you wanted to spin the wheel,
Yes,
you could.
which I did.
There's a guitar, if you want to play.
Great. I know you play.
On occasion, yeah. There's the drinks.
Right.
If you land on surprise, they'll bring surprise for you. I don't know about the balloons. I haven't quite figured out.
Balloons. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all very interesting looking.
But probably the thing that's most important at this particular junction is to know that there are lines of
People for questions.
that have questions on either side.
God. Okay. All right. And last question. What is that? What do we do about that?
Oh, we don't worry about him.
We don't do anything with that.
So now
I'm guessing this balloon in this vicinity had nothing to do with anything.
Couldn't possibly tell you.
Right. All right. I'll think about that. All right. Cool. Jesus. What's in the box?
Well, I think.
that box is empty.
Yeah.
I'll put something in that box.
What's in the box?
Yeah.
Is it your dick in the
Oh,
box?
okay. What is your question?
Hi. My question is how, I'm sorry if you haven't seen Avengers Endgame, but
I haven't.
how do you feel about the ending of Avengers Endgame?
Thank you for asking me the same question you asked me back there. I feel great about it. I feel like it was a very, well, I mean, look, it was a very hard ending and strange. You know, to see that movie entirely was really hard and weird to sit through. I hadn't seen it. It was my first time seeing it, you know, at the premiere. But I feel like it was a good ending. Do you guys feel it was a good ending? I know what you think. I think that you think, but no. You have to understand that. You know, I think everybody at the end of that movie mentally is in the right place. I feel like, you know, that was my take on it, and so yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see what happens next, but I'm very happy that, you know, Steve could finally get sort of a life of sorts. You know, I mean, no, you don't want him to. Tell me how you really feel.
Thank you.
No problem.
And I'd just like to say, spoiler alert, but also, if you're at a convention, you should have seen the movie. Just wanted to put that out there.
Hello.
Hi. So I wanted to know how hard it was to say goodbye to Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans after the ending.
Well, see, when we were filming the movie, I didn't know that I was going to be filming it, apparently, for the last time with them. But I'll tell you, I think it was really difficult to. I don't know if it's goodbye to Steve yet. I don't know. You know, I wonder about that. But it was definitely very sad to watch the scene with Robert. It was just kind of unreal. You know, I couldn't. You know, it's just 10 years that we've been with his character, and it's weird to even think of how anything could be without him. You know, so I don't know yet. You know, but they're pretty amazing. That's for sure.
Thank you.
So, I have a question.
You jumped the line.
You're like, let me keep this show interesting.
No, not at all.
No, I know.
No,
Yeah, go ahead.
If I can,
Please.
it's rare that I get to host a panel of the subject of which I'm legitimately a bit of a fanboy. So, I just have a personal question. You guys can listen if you want to. You don't have to. When you booked the first movie, right? How fleshed out was the entire arc of what was going to happen in the minds of the people, and if it was or wasn't, how much of it did you know about?
Yeah, no, none of it was really fleshed out. I mean, I always had heard of what might happen, which is kind of what I still hear 10 years later, which is it might go like this, which really doesn't mean anything. But anyway, yeah, I think it was, you know, when I came in, it was 2010, and the only, you know, the Iron Man was sort of like the big movie that had come out in 2008, and I think they were just discovering that, you know, people really wanted to see the films and were really excited about it, and so it was still very early on, you know, and they wanted to take it places, but I think it was still, you know, they didn't really know, I mean, that they were going to go this far. I really don't think that they did.
So then you would just get another call, they're like, yeah, they're doing another one, and here's the deal.
That's pretty much how it worked. Like, I remember actually, 2011, I had gotten a call from my business manager who said to me, you have 1 month left until you're completely bankrupt. And I was like, that's always a good call.
Please tell me there's more to that story.
No, I mean, but like my point was like, I was, you know, in 2011, which was again a year after the first movie came out, I had no idea that I was going to go back and work with them again. In fact, the only way I ever found out about, I've said this before, about the second movie that I was in, Captain America Winter Soldier, was when a friend of mine at Comic-Con called me from Comic-Con and said, you know, you're in this movie. And I said, are you sure? I didn't hear anything. They're like, you're in the title. And I was like, great.
Yeah. That's awesome. Next question.
Hi, so actually I don't have a question, but I'm here for an express delivery because somebody called, well, with a name that starts with D and ends up with Aniela, told me that you were looking for some real stuff.
A real, yeah, I was.
And since we suffer from the same addiction,
yes,
work,
please, thank you.
What is it?
What is it? What's she getting?
Sparkling water.
Oh!
But it's like a real sparkling water. None of that Ferrelli thing. No, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. So, what's your question?
Hi, Sebastian, from Russia with More, and I have a question for you about the project. It was planned, as far as I know, for the last June, Kill the Reaper, called Kill the Reaper, and it was delayed for 1 year. Are there any good news about
Which project is this?
What?
Which one? What's it called?
Kill the Reaper.
Beat the Reaper.
Beat.
Yeah. Still trying to get more famous to make that movie happen. If you want the real answer, it's true. They're not ready. Well, for me to be in that movie, I think. I hope they're listening. No, but that's the truth. I love that story. It's an amazing story, and I'm always trying to get that movie still going. I just need to find the right director. That's the truth at this point. But it's an amazing book called Beat the Reaper. You know, it's basically like Goodfellas meets John Wick meets ER. So it should be. But yeah, I don't know yet. I'm not sure yet.
My question is, you've worked with some amazing women in Hollywood, obviously Nicole Kidman, Margot Robbie, Alexandra Daddario, and whilst working with them, were you able to learn something from them?
Yeah, humility for one thing, you know, and you know that probably women are a lot tougher than we are.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's true. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think I was able to, you know, I think all the people you just mentioned are really good at, I think, being leaders, and there's a certain kind of ownership that they have in a graceful way, and yet in a humble way. And so I was very lucky. I mean, after Margot and then, you know, Nicole, I said I should only work with Australians. I think because it seemed, you know, it worked out. So I'm trying to find a way to work with JIBLand4. I think that's gonna be the good one. But I'm pretty excited about this new project with some other very strong women.
I'm excited to see you, Matthew Gray Google. So
back with what? Who?
Matthew Gray Google.
Oh,
yeah. I'm
yeah.
excited for that project. I think it's hilarious.
Very shaky right now. So anyway, but yeah, they were both great experiences.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Hi, Sebastian.
God, I hope it lands where I want it to. It's like this is the song I hear every Sunday morning in my head. There's probably a wheel in there too. Who gets the surprise?
Coming right up. Yes. From this general region right here.
Oh, good. Oh! Not fast enough for that hand. All right. It's a Hoover kick that I will be giving to somebody.
What?
I know, I don't want to throw this and hurt anybody. Ouch! Barcelona over there. Sorry, Spain. Yes.
Can we get a Band-Aid in the second row?
Exactly. What's your question?
So, you went to Rutgers, and I did as well. I want to know what your favorite bar on Easton Ave was.
Jesus. I just like the Fat Cat sandwiches.
Oh, the grease trucks?
Yeah, the grease trucks. I don't remember, you know, I wasn't really going, I don't remember, to be honest, which probably tells you why. Yeah, I can't remember, honestly. We never really went out to the bars, to be honest, and like at Rutgers. We more had house parties and things like that. So, yeah. Quiet again. How are you?
Hi again, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Pretty good.
Awesome. So, we know that you were told that there's a wedding in Endgame.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if you have any other stories, funny stories about Endgame, like that.
Funny stories. I remember there were times where Joe Russo said one thing to me, and then other times his brother Anthony said the opposite thing. And I remember then telling Anthony that Joe said the other thing, and he said, "Don't ever listen to Joe. I really know what's going on here." And then Joe got mad at me when I did what Anthony did. But yeah, no, it was a surreal experience. We never really played a lot of pranks or anything like that. I mean, we were kind of all scattered all over the place. But I sure got a kick out of that raccoon. You know, that was a pretty funny thing. I was like, I play a pretty dark character. How am I gonna, like, I see a raccoon. I mean, I know I went to a con and I'm a lot better mentally, but like, I'm talking to a talking raccoon. I should have more of a reaction to that, you know? Anyway, look, I think the funniest characters are Star-Lord and Thor. I mean, those are, they get all the best lines in my favorite scenes, you know? But anyway.
Are they teaming up?
I think that's, yeah, I mean, where else is he gonna go? Because he's on Thor, because he's on that spaceship.
I just want to say, Thor, at the end of that movie, possibly my favorite superhero of all time.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, it was nice to see him get fat.
I agree, and I also thought I was so proud of them because I thought for sure when he found it and the lightning came down and his eyes turned blue and then suddenly he was powerful again, he'd be skinny. But they didn't do it.
Yes!
They didn't do it, and I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think that might be like what Chris Hemsworth's inner child is really like.
That's the dude?
I don't know.
That's the dude.
Hi, nice to see you again.
Hello.
So my question is, so the other movie you were in many years ago, Hot Tub Time Machine, was referenced in Endgame. So we just assume that there is also an actor, Sebastian, in MCU. So
interesting
my question, what do you think about the reference? And if the Sebastian in MCU meets Bucky, what he will talk to Bucky? Thank you.
I mean, it would probably be like his worst nightmare or something. I don't know. You know, yeah, I remember I was watching the movie and they made that reference and I kind of looked around like excited, but no one cared. I mean, I was the only one that really cared. But yeah.
I enjoyed it.
I care.
I had a blast filming that movie and I always love, you know, hearing when it's still getting referenced anyway. But yeah. I feel like I need to give this away at some point. This Chris Evans. I know Spain and Road 2. But we'll see. We'll talk about that. Just leave him right there. What's your question?
What are they doing? Dude.
The question is, if you would have a time machine and could go to any place and time in the past, where would you go and why? Should I repeat the question?
If I had a time machine, where would I go and why?
Yeah, what time and
Oh my God, yeah. Let's go back to the Roman Empire. No, I don't know. Oh God, I don't know. I don't know if I want to go into the future either, to be honest.
Wasn't you ever?
I would probably go back to the 80s, only because I'm such a 80s music fan. I don't know. That might be all right, but.
And place?
And place. Maybe London. There's a lot of progressive things were happening in London at the time.
I agree.
Yeah.
Thanks.
No problem.
Hi. So my question is about the short film you did with Joe Mazzello, Milk.
Oh yeah.
What was the thought process behind that? Because it's quite
She's referencing
random.
this Instagram thing that my buddy and I did, this 1-minute video thing, and Joe Mazzello, who was in Jurassic Park,
And Bohemian Rhapsody.
and Bohemian Rhapsody, of course. He had this idea that he's actually lactose intolerant, and he wanted us to shoot this video. He's seen some of these videos that my friend and I make, and it was his idea. And in the little movie, he drinks a glass of milk because he's a very excited Oreo eater, and then it all goes to crazy place. But if you really want to see the film, go to 1 Minute Men at Instagram. Glad I plugged that in. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, please.
Well, I was just gonna say, no, you're killing it. The questions are pretty good. If at any point you feel like you want to spin that wheel,
I should do that.
You can make it
you don't
stop.
have
That's
to.
right.
You can make it stop on drink if you want.
Hell of a spin. Sometimes those things just happen.
So this is it.
That's
Am I doing this one or are you doing one with me?
yeah, whatever. I mean, I'll pour. I think one of these is actually apple juice. Hopefully, we won't get that one.
Consumption took me mother and me father got the pox. Me brother drank the whiskey till he wound up in a
We didn't, well.
his demise. Me sister has forever closed her smiling Irish eyes. Now everybody's eyes.
I don't know. Thank you for that.
Oh yeah, that was
That was
It was
interesting.
a good halftime.
Sicily. Okay. Hello.
Hello. I just have a question about Destroyer. I really love this movie, and I want to know if you want to tell some story about filmings and stuff.
About filming Destroyer.
Yes.
Yeah, I think, let's see, the most interesting story, from Destroyer was probably, you know, meeting Nicole Kidman, who was always somebody, you know, that I looked up to, and I just knew all her movies growing up and everything. And to Die For and Far and Away were two of my very favorite films when I was growing up. So anyway, but I didn't meet her until the first day, and the first day that we had to shoot was that scene. There's a scene in the movie where we're meeting, and we have to make out or kiss or whatever, and that was the first day I met her. And you know, you just never know what happens. You know, it was sort of like I was kind of very nervous, but I was trying to do this thing where you talk as little as possible. You know, because silence always gives you the appearance of confidence. And so anyway, yeah, and I remember I ate a lot of mints and stuff. There was a lot of that, and but anyway, it was probably one of the best experiences of my life, I guess.
I actually heard an interview where Nicole Kidman was asked about you, and she said, you know, he's quiet, but he has great breath.
There it is. Thank God. Yeah, the breath is an important thing.
Hello, Sebastian.
Hello.
So first of all, congrats on Falcon and Winter Soldier. Be serious.
Thank you.
And all of us here are crazy about the chemistry between Captain America and Winter Soldier, Stephen Bucky. But there's another chemistry going on between Winter Soldier and Falcon. And yeah. So my question is, what do you expect from filming this TV series, and what do you expect from the plot?
Well, I think it's time for Bucky to you know, go out there and have an identity outside of, you know, the circumstances that we've gotten to, you know, that we've met him through. And so I don't know, he might do all kinds of things. Maybe he might have, I don't know, he might even go on a date. I don't know. I know, it's a scary world out there, you know, apps, things like that. I don't know what he's gonna do. I can't see him really with an iPhone very well, you know.
Yeah, because it wouldn't work with, you know, with metal arm.
That's correct. That's also something I didn't think about, but very poignant point. And yeah, I think it's gonna be a lot of dealing with, you know, Anthony's character. And Anthony himself, which is always sort of another character. Yeah.
Are you looking forward to it?
No, I have a blast working with. Yeah, I have a blast working with Anthony. It's very funny half the time. I just feel like it's just going to be a lot of that move your seat up thing, and I just, you know, I got to tell him that if we're going to be in a car, I'm going to have to be in the passenger seat, and he's going to have to be in the back seat. I can't, or I should be driving the car. Anyway, we'll see, yeah.
Thank you so much.
We're gonna start in October.
Something is happening, I don't know what it is. Graham McTavish.
Oh no!
What an entrance! I mean,
well, it was a bit of a bad entrance. I think,
to come into.
Well, the song was good, but I thought my entrance was a bit bad. I need to work on that. It was a bit. I kind of shuffled on. Really.
Well, when you look like you and you have that accent, it's, you know.
Well, thank you very much.
It throws you off.
I've got my juice with me. I'm just gonna get.
That's down there.
Hello again.
Hello.
How are you? Look, oh wow, there's so many of you.
Yeah, they've all been very nice. So you've done this before, though. You've done the panel.
I have. I've
you
done
have
them.
already today, or yet?
I've done one today. Yes.
Oh wow.
I know. You were asleep.
I was. I didn't get here till 12.
He was literally asleep.
Oh man.
While we were working.
Well, you know, there are boxes and...
So yeah, you brought toys, apparently.
No, I did. I mean, I have to give these away, but I mean, I know no one really wants this one, but I'm just gonna throw it that way. and hit someone in the face.
7 people with that. That was awesome.
All right, well look.
Ladies and gentlemen,
thank you guys for having me. Very fun to talk to y'all.
please give it up for Sebastian Stan. He's giving out prizes.
Oh, where's he going? Where's he going? Where's he going? He's just run through the crowd. You're mad. Going completely the wrong way.
You're going the wrong way. How do they know where I'm going?
Very good.
All right, Graham.
It's me now.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling the effect of a few whiskeys, yes, gotta be honest. I know you haven't been drinking, but we have. Me and Tom, yeah, he's a bad influence. Well, that's what you get. That's what you get for hanging out with the devil. But I suppose, yeah, you should ask me questions, because when you ask me questions, it makes me think. Otherwise, I just sit here, like, you know, not knowing what I'm doing. So anybody who wants to ask me a question, please do.
And just so you know, for those of you that don't have photo ops or autographs at the moment, or whatever it is, if there are no questions, there are still questions. You just don't get a choice as to who asks them. So, I mean, I don't see anyone at the microphones. Oh!
Come on. Ask your questions. You need to go to the microphone now if you're going to ask questions, because I won't be able to hear you otherwise, I don't think. Oh, there's people at the microphone. Hello.
Hello. What was your favourite part of playing Father Kinley?
My favourite part of playing Father Kinley? Oh, gosh. One of the best parts was actually doing a lot of stuff with Lauren, because she's just such a lovely, funny lady. And, you know, it didn't feel like work. You know, we would just turn up and make each other laugh, and then we'd do a take, and then we'd continue making each other laugh. So that was really, really enjoyable. As far as the actual character's concerned, I mean, the more unhinged Father Kinley became, the more enjoyable it became, really. So by the time I was trying to strangle Eve, that was... Oh, am I spoiling it for people?
No.
Yes, but it's okay.
Oh, no!
There's someone with their finger in their ears behind me.
Oh, great. Yeah, well done, Graham. Yeah, that was, yeah. So the progression of the character, I suppose, is what made it enjoyable. And by the time it gets to the end, which I won't spoil, yeah, it all gets pretty mental. So yeah, it was that, really, the build-up. Because I think, at first, you think, hopefully, he's not mad.
Yeah.
But slowly you begin to realize that perhaps he's got a bit of a screw loose, to put it mildly. But anyway, yeah, sorry about spoiling anything for anyone. I hate that when people do that to me. I've had books ruined by people telling me. Like the end of Anna Karenina, if any of you have ever read it. Yeah, totally spoiled for me. Ruined. So I've never been able to read it. So anyway, thank you. Please ask another question.
So at the welcome party, we talked a little bit about politics. Would you ever want to play a role of a real-life politician in a movie?
A real-life politician?
Yeah.
Like actually, like somebody...
Something biographical.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I mean, it depends on... Actually, it doesn't depend on the politician. I think they're all... I think people who go into politics almost by definition are the kind of people that you don't want to have in politics, sadly. I don't think that's universally the case, but as a result, they make very interesting, dramatic characters to portray. Especially if you go back in history, because I think nowadays so much of politics is media managed, micromanaged, given spin and all of that kind of stuff. And You know, when I was growing up, politicians were much more, I guess, yeah, straightforward. They had to be able to string a sentence together. They had to be articulate. They had to be on top of what they were talking about. And I think nowadays, a lot of, from my point of view, a lot of politicians are fed information that they then just regurgitate to. Why is Jeff Beck playing in the